Today we are going to be focusing on inequalities. So first off, we just need to know what is an inequality. So an inequality is basically a mathematical symbol that compares two things that aren't equal. So these are some common signs that we're going to be using. These are inequalities. So for this first one, this is called greater than. So for example, 8 is greater than 2. The second one, the one below it, is less than. When you read it as 5 is less than 10. Off to the right, we have, it looks like it's greater than, but for some reason it has a bar below it. The bar below it makes it greater than or equal to. So for example, it could be written as 12 is greater than or equal to 3. It could also be written as 12 is greater than or equal to 12. The or equal to is what's important in this section. This last one down here is, we have the less than sign, but we also have the bar that's below it that's also written as or equal to. So we have less than or equal to. So this could be written as 3 is less than or equal to 12, or it could be written as 3 is less than or equal to 3. The or equal to is what's important on that part. So now we have some inequalities that we are going to write. So this first example, my dog weighs less than 50 pounds. So my dog weighs less than 50 pounds. So we have the dog, and we have 50 pounds. Now we need to draw the less than sign. So the dog is less than 50 pounds. So this is our inequality. The dog is less than 50 pounds. Now the second one, you have to be greater than or equal to 45 inches to ride. So let's underline the important part. Greater than or equal to. So we have you, and then we have 45 inches. Now we have to draw greater than or equal to, which you are greater than or equal to for 45 inches. So this is the inequality that we have. Now it's your turn. I want you to pause the video, look back at your notes, and I want you to write the inequalities. Okay, so if we have the movie is no more than 2 hours long, this no more than basically also means less than or equal to. So no more than means less than or equal to. So if we have a movie, then we have 2 hours long, we know that it has to be less than or equal to. So when we draw that, the movie has to be less than or equal to 2 hours long. So the second one, you must be at least 18 years old to vote. So think about that. What does that mean? It means you must be greater than or equal to vote. So we have you, and 18 years old, and you must be greater than or equal to. So you must be greater than or equal to vote. Now we have a couple of inequalities. I'm going to do the first one over here to the left, and you're going to do the one over to the right. All that I want to know is if I substitute in this -1 for x, is this inequality, is this sentence still going to be true? So the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to rewrite this equation, and instead of writing x, I'm going to write -1. So if we have 2 times -1 plus 8 is greater than 7. So if we here solve from here, we have a -2 plus 8 is greater than 7. So solve, -2 plus 8 is equal to 6. So now, is 6 greater than 7? No, it is not. So this is false. That is incorrect. So what I want you to do, pause the video, try the one off to the right, and unpause the video when you're ready to see what I've done. Okay, now we have 3 plus x is less than or equal to 12. We need to figure out if you substitute 9 in for x. So let's rewrite the equation, substitute it in. So 3 plus 9 is less than or equal to 12. Solve the left. 3 plus 9 is 12. Is less than or equal to 12. Now, is 12 less than or equal to 12? Yes, it is, because this part right here, where it has the or equal to, that's what makes this true. So 12 is equal to 12. So this is a true inequality. So now we're going to work on graphing some inequalities. We know how to read these inequalities, but now I want to learn how to graph it. So the very first step, when we're looking at this inequality in the top left, this reads x is greater than 1. So the very first step, we have to find the 1 on the number line, right here. Second step, draw a circle above the 1. There we go. If it is greater than or if it is less than, it is a circle that is open. It is an open circle. Now, once we do that, see how it looks like there's a point and we could basically just draw an arrow and it'd be pointing to the right. So what we're going to do, we're going to, from this arrow, draw the arrow and point it to the right. So think about it. What does this actually mean? This means that x is greater than 1. So x is any number that is greater than 1. So it's everything to the right of 1. Now, over here to the left, this says x is less than 1. So we found 1 here on the number line. Draw our circle. Remember, it must stay open, and it's pointing off to the left. So I'm going to draw the arrow off to the left, because this means that I want any numbers that are less than 1. So now, off to the bottom, we have x is greater than or equal to -4. Now, whenever we see or equal to, and we draw the dot, it must be a closed dot. So, first step, find -4 on the number line. Here we go. Draw a closed dot above it. When you do that, see how the arrow is kind of pointing off to the right. So we draw the line off to the right. So this means that x is greater than or equal to the number 4 in this inequality. So the one off to the right, we have x is less than or equal to 3. So find 3 on the number line, draw a closed circle, and it looks like the inequality is pointing off to the left. So we're just going to draw the line off to the left. It is greatly important that you write this part down. If it is greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, the dot is going to be closed. If it is less than, or if it is greater than, when you're graphing it, the dot is going to be open. So please, that's important, write that down. So now it's your turn. I want you to pause the video, graph these two inequalities, and unpause the video when you're ready to see what I've done. Alright, so if we have x is less than 3, so we find 3 on the number line, draw a circle. Since it is less than, it stays open. So since it's pointing out to the left, we're going to draw our line off to the left. Now the second one, x is greater than or equal to the number 4. So we find the 4 on the number line, draw our circle. And remember, it must be closed this time because it has the or equal to. Since it's pointing off to the right, we'll draw our line off to the right. So now we're going to do it the opposite way. We have our graph, now we just need to write the inequality. So the easiest way that I'm going to tell you what to do is, first off, you need your x's. On every single one of these, you need your x's. Now, second step. Remember, figure out what the number is. What number do we need? We have our, whatever the dot is, right above it. That's the number that we're using. So in this example, we have 3. In this example, we have -2. I'm going to save these two off to the right for you to solve, and I'll solve the two off to the left. So we have, remember which way our arrow is pointing. We can basically just draw that exact same inequality. So since we have the arrows pointing to the left, we could draw that exact same thing. Remember, it's open. So if it's open, it is just less than 3. You don't need the or equals to because it is open. Now down here at the bottom, we have that is pointing off to the right. So we can draw that exact same thing. We see that it is closed, so it must be x is greater than or equal to -2. Now pause the video, try the one off to the right, and unpause the video when you're ready to see what I've done. Alright, so we have our x's. This top one up here, the dot is right above 0, so I'll add the 0. Looks like we have our arrow going off to the right, so we'll draw that. And so this, since it is an open dot, this means that it is just less than or greater than. In this case, x is greater than 0. So this is the answer. This is the inequality to this graph. This bottom one, the number we're going to be focusing on is -3. So we write our -3. We see that our arrow is pointing off to the left. So I'm just going to draw that. we see that the circle is filled, so it must be or equal to. So in this case, the inequality that we write is x is less than or equal to a -3. So just a quick little hit for time for review. We have our inequalities: greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. When you're graphing, we have a couple steps. Step 1, locate the number on the number line. Step 2, we're either going to draw an open or a closed dot. Remember, open dot is the less than, or it is greater than. The closed dot is less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. Then step 3, draw the arrow in the direction of where they're pointing.